Thank you, Your Honor. Ultimately, I think that we're arguing over primary and maybe some other things, but we believe that we should be have the right to determine primary residence. In the alternative, we'd be asking to have standard visitation. This is ultimately a situation where they were living together, I think up till about December 2022, January 2023, somewhere around that range. At that point, Miss Annandale went to Alaska, wanted to get back together with my client. Then somehow, all of a sudden, in between that time, despite having no contact with my client, he all of a sudden became super dangerous and horrible, and all these concerns. None of them have any basis in reality, and you'll find through the evidence that a lot of it's just projection. There is Ms. Annandale is the one who has a history of violence in this particular relationship, and again, none of the claims will end up being substantiated. CPS was involved recently based on some allegations. I'm not 100% clear on what, but that's finished now. All of those allegations were ruled out, and we're here to kind of resolve things today. Thank you.
And sir, how many witnesses you have? I lost count there for a second. How many you brought in? Two or three?
I believe there's three, but one was having tech issues. I'm not sure if he made it in or not, but perhaps three.
All right, thank you.
Not including my client.
Correct, thank you. All right, Ms. Schwartz.
Your Honor, I've been in touch with the department, and I told them that we had court today and that I would need an update because we have a really serious bruise. I've got a picture of that ready to go that occurred on the first overnight that Mr. Oberman had, which was very concerning. The story didn't seem to match up with the injury. I haven't gotten anything saying that that's been ruled out. And like I said, I told them we had court today, and we've followed up with them multiple times and haven't heard anything, much less seen a rule out letter. So I would love to see that. I am still concerned about the bruise either way, but I'm also concerned about some other things that show evidence of violence, that show evidence of a drinking problem. So I've my recommendation is supervised only unless I hear something very different today through the testimony. But I've got real concerns about Mr. Oberman's anger, and I've seen a lot of evidence from Ms. Annandale, and I was very concerned about the bruise. As you'll see, it's on the fleshy part of the child's cheek, which is a very hard place to get a bruise on a child. It's not, the knees or something. It's not the shins, which can be from walking around. And I'm just really concerned about that. So I'll be showing that testimony, or I'll be showing that evidence to the court just to show the basis for my concerns. And I don't know. That's where I'll leave it for now, Your Honor.
Yeah, I always love when CPS kind of drags it and leaves people out there hanging one way or the other. So if necessary, we may have to do a reset on that part of it and get them subpoenaed to actually show up and give testimony one way or the other, either clearing the man or causing problems. So, but we'll see.
Right. And just to say about that part of it, I was in touch with the supervisor. I think we only recently learned who was even assigned to the case. So I haven't gotten anything from him.
It may not be completed. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Your Honor, just one of the exhibits that we submitted is the disposition letter for that. It is recent, but we have that.
Okay.
If you can email that to me, that would be great. Because
it was emailed. Yeah, it was emailed to everyone. I want to say it was one of our exhibits, one of the numbers.
Okay. Sorry, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, then. I got somebody else in the waiting room. I'll let them in as soon as everybody gets to making their opening statements. Ms. Bongat.
Your Honor, while the state would love a final order, I don't know that we'll get there today, whether that CPS disposition is in fact that. Given the time that the court was giving to this case until 12:30 today and the number of witnesses who I'm not sure what they have to say about the matter. The state will actually defer, Your Honor, to parents, counsel, and ad litem as far as calling of witnesses. The state is satisfied with the temporary and further temporary orders that have been in place. So failing any additional orders today, we are covered, and we just seek at final, whenever that occurs, appropriate rulings for the remaining issues that haven't been addressed at all, retroactive support, a final determination on whether non-disclosure is appropriate, and court costs.
And Your Honor, I'm sorry to interrupt. I don't have any emails that I can see from Father's counsel. So
Okay, well, I'll let y'all try to work that out in the wash here, and let me go ahead and whose witness is Miranda Allen?
That would be mine, Your Honor. She joined earlier. I guess it kicked her out of the call.
Okay,
Oh, I
she's there.
found it.
Okay. All right. Okay, but I haven't had a chance to get her to a breakout room.
I just found the email. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
There you go. All right, Miss Allen, you there, ma'am?
I am. I'm sorry. It keeps booting me out.
Well, yeah, believe me, that's probably on your end. Usually, I think I got a strong connection. But if anybody gets booted out, just come back in like you just did, because yeah, we've had internet problems here ever since it's been better than the last week or so, but since that tornado came through Temple, everything's been kind of messed up. So anyway, I'm sorry, the 2 tornadoes. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and move to the breakout room, ma'am. And when it's your turn to testify, we will bring you in. Let's see. I've got, I don't think I already signed you to a breakout room. So I'm going to go ahead.
I was in room 8.
I'm sorry?
I was in room 8.
Oh, okay. So it's not showing that you're still assigned there. I guess when you got kicked out, they kicked you out of the system. So I'll go ahead and put you back in room 8 then. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. All right, since council decided to go ahead and, since Ms. Bongad is going to go ahead and let the council put their case and sheets on first, so I'm going to go ahead and start with you, Mr. Hutton, and let you call your first witness at this time, sir. Thank you.
That's good. And when for evidence purposes, am I allowed to share screen, or do you want me to ask the court first? Is there a different process for that?
You can just ask the court to share a screen, and anything you have as evidence. I'll always mark individuals, and states to state. I'll mark yours as RF, or responded father. Mom's REF, responded mother, and of course the ad litem is ad litem. So yes. So,
I would call my client Stephen Oberman, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Oberman, since everyone else, since you're here, Ms. Andel, I'll ask both you and Mr. Oberman to raise your right hands, and I'll swear both of you in at this time. Thank you. All right. Both of you solemnly swear affirm me testimony you're going to give this court today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth will help you. And you both need to unmute yourselves and say, I will. Or I do, one of the two.
I will.
All right, Ms. Andel, you put your hand down, and you're under oath. And as soon as Mr. Oberman gets his audio up, we'll get him taken care of.
I will.
All right, you're officially on the oath, sir. You can put your hand down and state your full name for the record, sir.
Stephen Oberman.
All right, thank you very much. You may proceed, Mr. Hutton.
Thank you. Can you briefly tell the court what you're asking for today?
I'm hoping for primary residence, and failing that, I was gonna I forget what it's called, the standard.
And can you, I guess, briefly go over the timeline from your perspective, I guess, starting from maybe November 2022 and then kind of onward?
November 20, what year is it now? 24? November 2022, things were already in disarray as far as the relationship. I've been wanting to get out. My notes I've got from 2020, and I don't go into details as far as November. But
Mr. Auburn, here's the deal. You're not allowed to use notes to do your testimony, sir. If you need to, if there's something specific you need to fall back on, is say a doctor's letter or something from a school or something like that to refresh your memory, that's fine. But for right now, we just want you to go ahead and testify to the best of your recollection and not use notes, sir. Thank you.
okay, I moved the notes. I apologize.
No problem, sir. Thank you. All right, you may proceed. So we're in November 2022, sir. So you may proceed. Thank you.
There was lots of arguing. We in this end of December we moved into 2011 Corona Drive, and we moved in early before the house was like completed. As far as damages and paint and cleanliness, clean and all that, so we got a discount on the discount on. Anyway, I think that's irrelevant. But we moved in and things were already bad before we had moved, and it was just getting worse and worse. And I had wanted a few times to get out, and was, we wanted to leave, and was told that I could not leave, wasn't allowed.
And so right now, I think the question is more along your timeline of the different things, when y'all were together, when you separated, where you moved, that sort of thing. That's not an overall narrative, sir. Thank you.
Okay. We moved into that house December, I believe, 22. In about February or March, I think. Things were bad. We were separated and still under the same house. March or April, we had a bigger fight. We went together, but I left the house, and at some point during the time that I left the house, Sarah Annandale had gone to Alaska, at which point I went back to the house, and she was telling me that she wasn't going to come back unless we got back together, and at which point after countering that for as long as I could, I told her we came to an agreement where I'd move out of the house. She would move into the house if she came back to Texas.
And okay, so when did she go to Alaska?
March. I think it was March.
And I'm going to show you probably a couple exhibits, but let's see. And Your Honor, may I share screen? And this would be for petitioners 10, which I believe was emailed to the court as well a day or two ago. But Your Honor, am I allowed to? Can I share the screen?
Yes, sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, sorry. I thought it was okay. Thank you.
Can you see on your screen what I marked as petitioners exhibit 10?
Are you talking, Mr. Overman? Can you see that, sir?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, so I can see it also. You may proceed.
And is that text message between you and Miss Annandale?
It was that message, yes, sir.
Okay. And it's got a date marked on there. Is that it's like January 4th, 2023? Is that when that was taking place?
Yes, sir.
And you're the, green color?
Yes, sir, with the two blue check marks next to it.
Okay. I would move to admit petitioners 10, or could be remarked as whatever the court prefers.
Right now, it can remain petitioners 10. That's not a problem. All right. Any objection, Ms. Mungat?
None, but I don't believe the state received any of the exhibits, Your Honor.
All right, then. Mr. Hutton, I'll have you get with Ms. Mongat when we take a break here to see about getting her contact information so you can forward all your exhibits at that point. Thank you. And I'll have Belinda print out the things are admitted. I'll have printed out. If not, I'll just leave them in the file on the computer until then. All right, Ms. Schwartz, any objection, ma'am?
I don't see where it says who it's from.
I think at the top it says Stephen at the top, so that's him. So
Right. Yeah. It doesn't say who the other person is, but no other objection. I think it's fine.
all right, then. Well, we'll verify and we'll have her. If she says that's not her, we'll have that testimony in a moment. Thank you. All right, then. P10 is admitted. You may proceed, Mr. Hutton.
And at that point, as you say, you've not been getting along. You've been, I guess, wanting to leave, and she is basically saying she wants to continue the relationship. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. And I'm going to stop that screen share for a second. Now, there's been some, I guess, allegations at various points in this case about damage to the apartment and things like that. What was the condition of I don't know if it was a house or an apartment when y'all moved in there?
It was a house which was leased by my cousin, and the previous tenant had been in there for several years, and there was damage throughout to the sheetrock doors. There was a bay window in the dining room to the right towards the door that was smashed. None of which was and it was dirty too. Like it needed cleaning out. Like they had done the initial like eviction clean out, but there was filth in there from their previous tenants. And we moved in with I think I was going to go too far but when we moved in, it was damaged and dirty.
Okay. And did you get Did you get like an inspection form from the prior tenant?
I never got it, but the landlord got it, which I did receive a copy of, and I sent to you.
Okay. Just share screen real. You see what's marked? Wow. It's always difficult because I got to scroll up. But can you see what's I guess the last page of that document you're referring to?
I see page 3 of 4.
Yeah. I'm going to scroll up slowly. Can you see the things that are marked as being damaged?
Yes, sir.
And does that comport with what you recall being damaged when you moved in?
Yes, sir. The only thing I saw missing there was the damaged window, but that's...
All right. I moved to admit petitioner's exhibit 9.
All right, again, this is damage that was done prior to both parties moving in, correct, Mr. Oberman?
Yes, sir.
All right, and any objection to P9 at this time, Ms. Schwartz?
I guess my objection would, I guess it would go to wait. So, no. Is there any signature or anything from who wrote it?
Whoever I can scroll down. No.
It seems like, I mean, it's hearsay and I'm not seeing a signature on it. I want evidence to get into this case, but I have concerns about this exhibit.
I don't disagree other than that I guess the alternative is that, like, I guess he's being held accountable for he's not providing evidence of this certain thing, and then there's functionally no other way of providing it, I guess.
And while I can understand that, my concern is that anyone could have written this. This is a form that could have been downloaded from the internet. It's all the same handwriting. I have serious concerns about, I think it's more prejudicial than probative, because I don't even see a signature. So I understand.
And Mr. Hutton, again, this is damages that you're alleged, that's been alleged is caused by other parties. Is there a portion of your case involving when there's allegations that Mr. Oberman or Miss Annandale did some damage to that house while they were there, or what's the reason for this?
Because it's listed in the ad litem's report that's part of the concerns, and that he, I guess, had not provided evidence of that he has not caused damage to the house, which it's very difficult to prove a negative. But I understand the objections. I mean, he's already testified to it, so I think that's fine. But
all right, then, based on that, Ms. Swartz, I'm going to let it in for that. I'm sorry, I'll let Ms. Bongat see it. Ms. Bongat, do you have an objection?
None, Your Honor.
All right, well, I'm going to let this in just for the purposes of showing that there's a possible counter to anything that, as far as damage that was done to the house. I'm more interested in, I'm definitely interested in that kind of thing, but I'm more interested in just the general testimony involving what the parties have done and what they are eyewitnesses to. So anyway, this is not going to carry a lot of weight one way or the other, as well as anything else like that's coming in written like that. But again, it is what it is, and I'm going to let it in. Anyway, so I'll allow, this was P9, correct?
yes, Your Honor.
Keep my list ready. P9 is admitted. You may proceed.
Before I guess, forget, well, let me just ask too. So you also, so this is technically the state is petitioner, but like right around the same time, you filed your own case too, correct?
Yes, I filed for conservative. Yes, we filed around the same time.
It ended up being that the state had ended up filing for, you hadn't gotten served yet, but it was like right around the same couple weeks or something like that, right?
Yeah.
When was that?
June, July. I think it was June or July, maybe. It kind of been as far as August, but around those couple of months.
Last year?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when was the last time, I guess, that... So when did Miss Annandale get back from Alaska?
I believe she was out there for about 3 or 4 weeks, possibly. I don't know the exact date of that because I wasn't at the house. I think I would say April.
Did y'all live together again after she got back?
No, I took a bed frame, a TV from the house, and I went elsewhere before she got back.
So at that point you were split. And
yes, sir. And
while she was in Alaska, she wanted to continue the relationship.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Were there any incidents or anything like that after she returned and sort of before this case got filed?
Just there was like nothing. I never saw her, but nothing that wasn't over text. There was a time when she allowed me to see Theo at her dad's house because she was very set on not letting me see Theo unless it was around there. She got back later than we had agreed, and was trying to come at me, try to chase me down the driveway, which I believe they might have, but it's relevant. They're not on. They're not here. And follow me all the way to the bike, and was trying to stop me from leaving so we could work things out. And
so, You have concerns about Miss Annandale's behavior, correct?
Yes, sir.
Has she ever been abusive towards you?
Yes, sir.
Can you give me some specifics on that?
There was in 2022, I think it's or 21. We're at a family family and friend gathering out in Copper's Cove, and I think we had barbecue and a few other things. And towards the end of the night, there was a discussion because I didn't want her to drive with the kids, and it ended up with her striking me in the face in front of her friends and family. And there's the other times at the house, I submitted into evidence where there's a mark on my face, and there's plenty of other arguments where there's shoving and all kinds of.
Okay, so when was that time? I guess you have a mark on your face. Without looking at my notes, I don't remember the exact date. But I think there was a date on there with the evidence I submitted. Can you give me an approximate? Do you recall kind of at all when that was? 2022, I think, because I forget, it's 24 now. I keep messing my memories up, but at some point in 2022. Okay, and I don't know if this is the same one you're referring to or not, but can you see what I've marked as petitioner 7?
Yes, sir.
What is that a picture of?
That's from a scratch to my face from an argument, and that wasn't the one I was referring to. That was a couple of days before I went to a comedy show in Austin. Is there any context to that picture? I guess. Yeah, we had an argument with that, and I remember that one. I was trying to leave. I wanted to get out and either trying to go to my cousin's house or even her dad's house. And in the struggle of her not wanting me to leave, she shoved and scratched. I don't remember if that was a push to the face that caused that, or if a slap. But there was all throughout the relationship there was.
Is that, and that's an accurate representation of your injury at that point?
Yes, sir.
And that's a picture that looks like you took, correct?
Yes, sir. There was a selfie I'd taken on our actual bed.
I'd move to admit petitioner 7.
No objection.
I'm sorry, Ms. Schwartz?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, then, Ms. Mungat?
None, Your Honor.
All right, P7 photograph is admitted. Sir, could you, was this in 2022 also, or was this 2023?
This is 2023.
All right, thank you. You may proceed, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. What other concerns have you had about Miss Annandale's behavior?
Not only is she aggressive towards me and other people here recently. She's being aggressive. I've never seen her be aggressive towards Theo. He's always been too young. But I believe, in my opinion, some of the what's the word? Punishments on Addie were too far-fetched for a child of the ages.
And
okay, so you're saying Addie. Who's Addie?
Addie is Sarah's oldest daughter with her previous with her ex-husband.
How old is Addie?
I think right now she might be 5 or 6. I don't unfortunately, I don't recall.
A young child, and she was somebody who lived with y'all kind of throughout, correct?
The whole time, yes, sir.
Yeah. And I'm going to show you. Has Miss Annandale kind of ever expressed to you over text messaging and conversations, I don't know if this would fall in the same category as discipline, but like, kind of getting overwhelmed and making kind of threatening comments about the kids?
Plenty of times. Yes, sir.
I'm going to show you a couple, but one at a time. Can you see what I've marked as petitioners 5?
Yes, sir.
So this one's a bit more difficult to tell, but who is this a conversation between?
Myself and Sarah.
Okay. And who is saying the comment, I guess, that's on the screen currently?
Sarah.
Okay. And when was this conversation between y'all?
The screenshot was taken immediately after that message was sent on Monday, December 12th, 2022.
Okay. And who is she talking about in this message?
Adam.
I would move to admit petitioners 5.
And then although
just wait 1 sec. I would move to admit petitioners 5.
All right, can you scroll down a little bit on that one? I think I see the top of it where it's got the and can you make it go ahead and enlarge it a little bit, please? Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Scroll down.
All right. I'm just trying to see what else is down there. Okay, thank you. All right, then, Ms. Mongat, any objections to and this is P what? P6?
P5.
P5, thank you. Any
None, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Swartz?
I can't, there's no evidence of who it's from, but I hear him testifying about who it's from. But it has the date, so I guess.
All right, again, I can't see it well enough. Obviously, there's pictures next to the different things that should tell who that allegedly is from. Is that the case? Because again, I can't make out the pictures.
And that's also what I'm stuck on, Your Honor. Yeah,
Okay.
and it's black and white too. I can't tell. So I'm not.
Okay. All right, then, Mr. Hudson, I'm not crazy about this one either, so I'm not going to let this one in. All right, but I'll allow him to testify.
I have better ones anyway.
Okay.
I understand.
All right, thank you. So
I'm going to show you. You see what I marked as petitioner 6, Mr. Oberman?
Yeah, yes, sir.
And approximately who is this a conversation between?
Myself and Sarah Annandale.
Okay. And approximately when was this?
This would have been 2022. We were, I believe, with this one. We were probably still at the trailer.
Okay. And well, first of all, let me just I would move to admit petitioner 6.
Say that one more time, please.
Okay.
That's not for you. I'm moving to admit petitioners 6.
All right, I'll start with you, Ms. Swartz, on this one. Any objection?
I can't see the date, but no objection to that. It's from her, and he's testifying about the date. So I think that one's fine.
All right, then, Ms. Mongat?
No objection.
All right, P6 is admitted. You may proceed.
You just briefly read that, Mr. Oberman.
When are you coming home? Am I allowed to read that word for word?
That's probably less relevant. How about you just read the second part of it?
Both of these kids are going to be drowned in the bathtub at this point.
And is that fairly indicative of types of comments she would make?
Yes, sir.
Does that concern you in regards to the safety of Theo?
I think that would concern any parent. Yes, sir. Sorry.
In regards to, well, when does CPS get involved in this case?
It was being I have a letter from them from I think the date that it started. But it was a few weeks ago. It was I had Theo for one overnight, and then I had him the following time, and then it was at the previous court date that I had that Elizabeth Swartz entered her findings to the court, at which point I contacted CPS to find out what that was about. So I think that May 18, 19, 20, something like that.
It was about there was Theo had a bruise, correct?
Yes, sir.
And what happened with that?
We were at Ashley's grandmother's house in Harker Heights, and Ashley's nieces and nephews were there from Round Rock, so we went over there instead of coming here. And we were playing with a slip and slide with all the kids. The niece and nephew are 8 or 7 and 10 years old, and we were playing with the slip and slide. Theo and I were walking into the house, and I showed CPS the photos, and maybe I have sent it to y'all. As you go up into her grandma's house, you walk up a series of 3 limestone steps. Theo was a couple of paces in front of me, and on the second step, missed his footing and fell and hit his face.
And at this point, have they investigated and ruled out any concerns? CPS.
Yes, sir. They did a very thorough investigation. They came to my house. I believe they may have gone to Ashley's grandmother's house, and they called all the people who were present, who were adults at the time. And
I'm gonna show you briefly. Can you see a letter on the screen addressed to you, Mr. Oberman, from CPS?
Yes, sir.
And is that a letter you received somewhat recently that rules out any allegations of physical abuse?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I would move to admit petitioners for, Your Honor.
And I object to hearsay because we don't have the CPS worker here, but not to go to his state of mind. I just wouldn't want it for the truth of the matter asserted without CPS.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and enter for the purposes that he's got the letter. It appears to be what it is, and we can get CPS to verify at a later date. So you may proceed, Mr. Oberman. The court's accepting this is kind of what it is. I've seen a few of these over the years. They've changed their fonts around a little bit and their little spreadsheet information, but yeah, these are pretty much all the same. So thank you. You may proceed, Mr. Oberman. I'm sorry, Ms. Bongak.
Oh, sorry.
No objection, Your Honor.
Sorry.
So, to the best of your knowledge, though, they're finished investigating. They haven't asked you to do anything along those lines.
No, sir. Yes, sir. And they have not asked me to do anything else.
Right. Okay. And let me also, before I forget this one, I'm going to show you another message. Can you see what's marked petitioners 8?
Yes, sir.
See if I can zoom out. Okay. Is this who's this conversation with?
Sarah and myself.
Okay. And I know it says a date on there, but when would this conversation take place?
November 11th, 2022.
Okay. And let me just move to admit petitioners exhibit 8, Your Honor.
No objection.
No objection.
All right, P8 submitted. You may proceed.
And can you read the message there?
I'm about to put Theo in his crib and just leave.
Again, is that concerning to you, or was that concerning to you?
It's very concerning.
What is your current, I guess, living situation currently?
I live in a 4-bedroom house in San Marcos.
And do you live with anybody else?
My partner and my child, my fiance.
And how old is that child?
She just turned 4 months.
And just to be clear, too, CPS had no concerns about that. You still, still have a child.
Yes, sir. I had no concerns.
Everything going well there.
It's going great.
Okay. And do you think that's a good environment for Theo?
I believe so. If I could go back and live my childhood in an environment like this, I would love it.
During any of the visitation exchanges part of this case, has there been people brought from Miss Annandale's side other than Miss Annandale?
Yes, sir.
I guess who?
The main main or common denominator, I guess, was the gentleman that she was planning on marrying. Occasionally, her roommate would be there, the babysitter, and then more recently, there's been a new gentleman.
So there was the first partner, I guess, that she was with for maybe a bit longer towards the beginning of this case, correct?
Yes, sir.
But your understanding is that they're not together anymore, correct?
Yes, I understand him.
And she's brought to the visit another, I guess, dating partner as well, correct?
To my understanding.
And
all right, real quick, sir, did you get any names?
Ed, the first guy was Eddie, and I don't know the second name for Eddie, but the other one was Brandon Borders.
Okay, the most recent one is Brandon
Borders. Okay,
thank you. You may proceed.
When was the most recent one, I guess, that you're talking about?
The date would have been the May 19th.
Okay. So to be clear, y'all split, I don't know what, March, April, somewhere around there of last year, correct?
January.
Well, fair, but okay.
Oh, officially, like completely out of each other's houses and ways. Yes, your timeline.
And then since that time, she, I guess, had come back, found a new somebody who was planning marrying, and I guess moving the child to Colorado at the time, correct?
That's correct.
Does it concern you that she's already bringing different, I guess, dating partners around the child?
Yes, sir. Like multiple, like would be turned.
And this is over a period of like a year-ish, give or take, correct?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, may I ask a question to you? Sorry.
No. Here's the deal, ma'am. I know you're not a lawyer, but if you've got an objection to make, or if you want to make an objection, you have the absolute right to do it. But you got to make it just like you went to Baylor Law, okay? You can't ask me a question. You can't ask me how to do this. I cannot be your lawyer. Ms. Schwartz cannot be your lawyer. Ms. Mongat cannot be your lawyer. You can be your lawyer. Hire your own lawyer, ma'am. So the bottom line is, if you have a legal objection, tell me what that objection is, and I'll rule on it.
I have a legal objection to that statement because he does not currently know what's going on in my life or my partner's.
Stop. That's not a legal objection, ma'am. I'm sorry. I know you don't know this. But again, it's his testimony, and you just got to sit there and wait your turn for you to testify, ma'am. This is family law. People say things that upset the other side all the time. They say bad things. But so long as it's the truth, it's what matters, ma'am. Okay. So at this point, that is not a legal objection. It is overruled. And Mr. Hutton, you may proceed. Thank you.
I think I passed the witness anyway.
All right, then, Ms. Schwartz, your witness.
Sir, you had said that there were inappropriate punishments for Addie, but I didn't hear explanation of what punishments you were talking about. What were you referring to when you said that?
I don't think inappropriate, but over the top, just over the top, like spankings and unnecessary, like not unnecessary, but like the level of yelling for the child's age. And then I think I stated earlier the spankings were excessive.
Okay. And I guess that move out form, so that was you're representing that was filled out by the prior tenants before you?
Either by the tenants. I don't know who filled that out. I got that from Patrick's secretary, the company.
Okay. So which doors in the house were damaged?
I don't for sure the bathroom, the master bathroom, maybe the master bedroom. I think maybe only one door wasn't damaged, but I don't recall to 100% like accuracy of all the doors. But I know for sure the bathroom and the master. Okay. And then I believe there was a hole in the because I spent a lot of time in the middle room, like the middle bedroom. So that I can only say for certain those 3 doors.
Okay. And let me show you. Is that an accurate image of the child's bruise?
Yes, sir. Yes, excuse me. Yes, ma'am. That's a photo that I sent.
Okay. And Your Honor, I moved to, I don't know if this has previously been entered. I don't think it was officially entered. I'm moving to enter attorney ad litem's Exhibit 1.
No objection.
All right, Ms. Mongat?
No objection.
Okay, ad litem 1 is admitted. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a second, let me start. I got to show another page. Moving to ad litem, not petitioner. Okay, ad litem 1 is admitted. Photograph. Got it. You may proceed.
Thank you. And whose hand is that?
That's my partner's, Ashley's.
Okay. And so this is the photo that was sent to Ms. Annandale, is that right?
That's one of the photos, yes, ma'am.
And can you tell me why it is that your partner was the one who took the photo?
Well, that's her left hand. I think I took that photo. As far as the other photos, which I don't know if you have them, but we're both there. There's no particular reason why her hand is there. Okay. Other than you can see he is still on the slipping side there, so he's still trying to play at this point. And we're just trying to get better pictures throughout the day.
Okay, and that's the only picture you sent to to Miss Annandale. Is that fair to say?
No.
Okay. Okay. And so you were saying there was only one door that wasn't damaged?
I couldn't recall exactly of all the damage of the doors. I know for sure that the doors I mentioned were damaged. I couldn't recall the other doors.
Okay, but you never shared that with the landlord yourself. Is that fair to say?
Him and I had been at the house a couple of times. Like before Sarah and I had discussed moving in there. I was working for him at the time, trying to be a handyman, but
okay. But you never, I guess, is it fair to say that you never told him in writing anything about the doors?
There may have been texts, but I couldn't find them.
Okay. And you didn't fill out your own move-in sheet?
No, ma'am. And
you didn't take pictures of the damage to the doors? Is that right?
I looked, but I don't believe so.
Okay. Okay. And you understand about the allegations that you've done damage at the house?
Yeah, you had made me aware of those allegations.
Okay. All right. And I guess, is it fair to say that there was a lot of, I guess, threatening kind of conversation on both sides?
I don't think so.
Okay, so you don't think that you used threatening language with regard to Miss Annandale?
Maybe hostile in arguments, but I don't recall threatening language.
Okay. All right. And sir, are you currently sober, or do you drink now?
I don't drink. I'll have like if I go to a barbecue, but the most recent one I had a beer at, and there's no beer in the house.
Okay. Okay. Do you believe that you had a drinking problem?
No, I would have drank a lot, but not a problem.
Okay.
Like when I moved out, to elaborate on that, when I moved out here, there was no like an alcoholic would, be like craving or whatever. I just moved out here and went on about my life.
Okay. And I'm going to show you. Is that your profile picture at the top there?
That's the previous one. It was at some point, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. And Your Honor, I moved to admit Respondent's Exhibit 2, or Attorney Ad Litem. I'm sorry, Attorney Ad Litem's Exhibit 2.
All right. Any objection, Ms. Mungay?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Hudden?
I don't. I think it's probably implied, but that this is between my client and Miss Annandale.
Yes. Was this a conversation, Mr. Oberman, between you and Miss Annandale?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Sorry, I didn't hear the question.
No objection.
I hadn't asked it.
Okay.
You're good.
Item 2 is admitted. You may proceed.
Thank you. And I'm like, I need to write down to make sure that I send them in the right order. Okay. So, and I'm going to direct you to the bottom of this. Do you see what Miss Annandale said in that, I guess, Rose paragraph?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you see that last sentence that says you are the one who destroys the house and makes personal attacks?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was your response to her?
Hey, why are you going to bring up old shit?
Right. And so you didn't say I didn't destroy the house, right?
Right. And this is in reference to, I know there's no date on here,
Right.
but that's before that's before we moved to the new house.
Okay. And sir, do you have a history of, I guess, destroying property?
No, ma'am.
Okay. What was that regarding? What did you do at that house that you were talking about in that image? I guess.
I don't recall.
Okay. 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 Okay, I'm going to show you another text message. And is that one of your profile pictures as well?
No, ma'am.
That's not you?
No, that is me, but that is not one of my profile pictures.
Okay. So this isn't from you?
When I have read this one, whenever this was submitted, I'm going to read it over again so I can make sure this is the right one. I have seen that picture in the screenshot. No, ma'am. That's not me.
Okay. Okay, how about this one? Is that one of your profile pictures?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And this one doesn't have a date, but do you recognize this conversation?
From the when it got admitted, I recognized it from then. But that although that is me, I don't recall the conversation, but I'm not denying that is me.
Okay, I move to enter ad litem's exhibit 3.
Actually, I'm going to go ahead and make this 4 because I was making the other one 3 that didn't come in. So I'm going to make it 4, okay?
Okay.
All right, Mr. Hutton.
No objection.
All right, Ms. Mongat.
No objection.
All right, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. And in this text message, did you agree that you told Miss Annandale to kill herself?
No, ma'am. I said the world would be a better place, but despite saying it, it would be better on the kids.
So it says despite saying it, right?
There would be some agreement, but I don't agree that I said it.
Okay. But you agree that in this message, it looks like you said it.
It looks like it, but I don't believe that. And when and it looks like you also, when you replied to her saying that you had said that she deserved the abuse from you and her ex, and you said from your ex, right? Right.
Okay. And you said I should have asked him what combo he used?
Yes, ma'am, I said that.
Okay. And is that a reference to like a video game combo?
Could be.
Okay. All right. And I'm showing you. Okay, and that's the same profile picture, is that right?
Yeah, from my WhatsApp. Yes, yes, ma'am.
And Your Honor, I move to enter Exhibit 5.
He said that's from WhatsApp, sir?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Sorry.
No objection.
Sir, any
No
objection?
objection.
Okay.
No.
Okay, WhatsApp, keep them straight. All right.
All right. And in this message, it looks like Miss Annandale is asking if you're going to call the kids, right?
Right.
And you say you're not well?
Yeah, that's correct. I was actually at Ashley's grandmother's house, and I was very, very sick.
Okay.
And I was in bed.
Okay. And when she said sick or drunk, you said first one is better, right?
Yeah. At this point, in our like we weren't together at that point, but when I say relationship, I mean in our time being acquainted. To say I was over this woman would be an understatement. So first one is better. I should have, if I'd known hindsight, but if I'd known it was going to be used for evidence, I would have clarified that I was sick. But this first one is better is a bit of an attitude response.
Okay. And is this another one of your profile pictures?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And is this a conversation between you and Miss Annandale?
I would assume so.
Okay. I move to enter Exhibit 6.
All right, just a second. I got to change pages. That's
Sure.
it's too small pad this time around. I should have gotten a full-size legal pad, but I'll transfer it later. All right, so we're up to ad item 6. Is this just a regular text message, sir, or is this through the WhatsApp, or is all this through WhatsApp as the function?
This be Facebook Messenger.
Okay, this is Messenger, and it's the texting function again. Okay. Oh, you kids and your texting. All right. All right. Any objection to items? What was this? I'm sorry. Let me go back to my last page.
This one's
6. Okay, got it. All right.
I would just like to kind of clarify I assume so, just that this is I guess, conversation that he had.
Yes, and I'll let you know, Mr. And I take all these conversations with a grain of salt. I look back over my text messages. Yeah, things can be taken out of context. Things you can't tell if someone's being flippant or serious a lot of times. But if he did it, he did it, and the court will, just like I say, take it with a grain of salt and apply it to the circumstances and see, and it'll either add up to something or either add up to nothing. All right.
Just because he said it was his profile picture, and he assumes it was a conversation he had. I just would prefer checking with a question that it's actually something he wrote first. I would expect so, but
okay, sir. Do you recall doing this at all?
Well, while you guys are talking, I'm actually looking at the detail here. Stephen Oberman is not capitalized.
So, okay, but do you recognize the content of the message? Because I would say whether or not it's capitalized doesn't necessarily mean anything. A lot of these chat services, I mean, yeah. So can you look at the content of the conversation?
Can you scroll down, please, so I can just have more content? I can't imagine of any time I would have been in Galveston headed to Louisiana in the last. I have worked at 7. Like, I'm not denying that photo down there is me, but I don't recall that conversation.
But you haven't been to Galveston, I guess.
Yeah, the last time I went to Galveston was 4th of July a few years ago. But with it being a Facebook Messenger, like I don't understand why my name wouldn't be capitalized there, as Facebook would automatically capitalize as your name.
Okay. And I will pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Bungay.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Oberman, the messages that you and your counsel went over during your testimony, those were roughly 2 years ago?
I believe so. I didn't take notes of the dates. I've done a lot of looking and dates since.
Yes, sir. And even though you mentioned concerns about the statements you say Ms. Annandale made, potentially threats to her own daughter and your child, no action ever happened after that, correct? Your children are fine, have not been injured based on the text you were concerned about?
I don't, not that I know of.
And sir, did you ever report Ms. Annandale to any authority for a welfare check or any type of mental exam if you were concerned?
No, ma'am.
And sir, at this point, given the sporadic visitation you've been entitled to under the court's temporary and further temporary orders, do you have any idea what Ms. Annandale's home life looks like or been to her actual residence?
I've not been to her residence, no, ma'am.
And whenever you've had time with your son, he's been healthy, happy to see you as well, correct?
Been happy to see me. Healthy. Yeah, there was one time he might have had a sniffle, but I don't put any fault on anybody for a child being sick like that.
Okay. And sir, with the further temporary order, we had adjusted support from the first temporary order because you and your current partner had a child. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And do she and your son get along whenever you do have him?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Like she's too young to understand how to get on with anybody, but he loves her, and he very tries to help him all the time. He's anytime that she's down and just sat like on the rocket thing, he'll go sit down next to her. I got plenty of pictures of him walking up to hug her, and just being a sweet boy.
Okay. And sir, your current residence in San Marcos is roughly how far away from Miss Annandale's or Bell County?
It takes about an hour and 20 minutes to get from here to the police station for the pickups.
Okay. So right around 100 miles or a little less, sir?
It's less. I think it was 80 last time I looked. Because I looked a while ago before Mr. Nelson said it for that police station. I had looked at different things. I think it was like 80. I could be wrong, but I think it was 87 miles.
Okay. And so, sir, part of what you were asking for, if this court didn't name you the primary joint managing conservator, was for you to have the standard possession order. I'm guessing, sir, you and your attorney have looked at what that looks like in terms of visitation, especially given the distance between your homes currently?
We discussed it being the first, third, and fifth weekend. But we went in some detail, but
okay. And yes, sir, the standard possession order put in place by the legislature has it at various parts, whether you're closer than 50 miles, over 50 but under 100, and then if you got over 100. And is it correct, sir, that your relationship with Miss Annandale occurred within Bell County?
Yeah, I believe. I think the relationship.
Yes.
If Killeen is Bell County, then but it started in Travis County.
Okay. So as far as being the person who left the home and went to somewhere else, that would have been you?
Correct.
And sir, at this time, are you still employed?
Yes, ma'am.
Does your employer offer any benefits for your dependents, such as health or dental insurance?
I'm not sure. There is dental, but I wouldn't know if it was offered to other people.
Okay. And sir, did you have any problem paying the cash medical support amount, just because typically it tends to be less expensive than anything available to employers or on the marketplace?
Can you repeat that, please?
Yes, sir. So the prior orders had you paying cash medical support because my understanding was your son is currently on government medical through Miss Annandale. Was that your understanding?
Correct.
And since there isn't anything at this point, sir, from your employer or the marketplace, you have no problem continuing going forward if Ms. Annandale remains ordered to maintain that health coverage for your son?
Correct.
Okay. Do you have any concerns, sir, about your physical address appearing in the court's order?
Yes.
And was that based on the nature of your relationship with Ms. Annandale, or was it other parties outside of your case?
Miss Annandale.
Okay. And so far, you and she have been able to communicate using app close and meet at the police station so that Theo goes where he needs to go?
Yes, ma'am.
And then, sir, as far as your prior work history, does any of it include military service?
No, ma'am.
And what about any time spent as a first responder of any kind?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And then, sir, previously, I think we discussed that while after you officially moved out of Ms. Annandale's residence in April of 23, there were a few direct payments made until child support started, but not anything regular or agreed to by the two of you?
Correct.
And sir, do you recall what total amount you provided to Ms. Annandale prior to the temporary orders?
I don't recall, but it wasn't, like I stated in the previous court, it wasn't enough, whatever it was.
Okay. And then, sir, what is the longest amount of time you've ever had your son without any other adult present?
Like in what aspect?
Well, sir, while you and Ms. Annandale lived together, what was the length of time you had to watch Theo while Ms. Annandale was elsewhere?
Hours. Hours.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Your Honor, I pass this witness.
All right, Mr. Hutton. I'm sorry, sir, you're muted.
Nothing further at this witness, Your Honor.
Great. Ms. Swartz, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Well, okay, I'll go ahead and let you call your next witness in just a moment, Mr. Hutton, but we're going to take a little 15-minute break because the judge is going to go get some Italian roast or some Sumatra roast or some kind of roast going here. I'm going to go ahead, folks. This is obviously going to not get completed today. We're at 11 o'clock, and I do have a 1:30 hearing, and I'm going to try to take this to 12:30 at least. So, Mr. Hutton, if you got witnesses that might have trouble coming back next time around, when we have to come back, you might want to go ahead and get that one done, or instead of calling Miss Annandale, because obviously she's got to be here no matter what. Okay.
I am going to call my other witnesses first, and I expect we can probably get through them today.
All right.
So, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm going to try to work for. Make sure people don't have to go back. All right, everybody. Actually, it's now 11:11. I need to buy a lottery ticket. And who else? Anyway, and we'll be back on as close to as 11:30 as possible. Thank you. All right. And we'll officially get back on the recording record. We're now back on the recording record on family code. I'm sorry, family code. Yeah, long day. I was looking at the family judge's docket, and that doesn't say the family code. Anyway, this is Bell County calls number 22-DFAM 340870, and we're now back on the record. And Mr. Hutton, who would you like to bring in first for your as your witness, sir?
Thank you, Your Honor. I would call, I'm probably going to pronounce it wrong, Damaris Blankemeyer.
Okay.
I believe room 5.
Oh, yeah, I got it. Yeah, I'm gonna try to move it again. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. So, but here we go. We're moving to the main session. Okay. Okay, Ms. Blankenmeyer got in. Thank you. Okay, everyone else is now moving witnesses in. We're going to try to get to y'all as fast as we can. Thank you. Stop broadcasting. All right. All right, Ms. Blankenmeyer, if you can find a spot to sit down and not be moving around, and we'll go ahead and get your testimony started.
Sorry, I had to put my kids over there.
When you're in the waiting rooms, yeah, that's fine. Okay, do what you got to do.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I do have children.
How old are they?
I have a handsome, I want to square up with son sometimes, 3-year-old son, and then I have a almost 5-year-old daughter who's special needs.
Well, I got a couple of grandkids in that age, and like I said, Grandpa Mike goes down and visits, and then once they're both swinging up, well, they're 4 of them now. Once they're swinging off my ears and my arms, Grandpa Mike brushes himself off and goes home. Now,
it's like you love them.
80
you
miles
love them,
away.
get the spoil of them, and then it's like, okay, you can go back with your parents. Love you.
Oh yeah, they're the ones who decide to have you. So yeah,
I get that. My mama tells me the same thing too.
All right, then. Anyway, Ms. Blankenmeyer, go ahead and raise your right hand, please. Ma'am, do you solemnly swear or affirm your testimony gonna give here today's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
Yes, sir.
All right, ma'am, please state your full name for the record. You put your hand down.
Damaris Blankenmeyer.
All right, thank you very much, and you may proceed with this witness, Mr. Hudson. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. So briefly, what is your connection to the parties in this case?
So I was friends with Sarah, not anymore. Some stuff happened. And Stephen, I stayed really good friends with him and his current wife, Ashley.
So how long ago, I guess, are you referring to that you knew Sarah?
Sarah, we first became friends. My son was 2 weeks old, so this was March 26, 2021 is when our friendship started. Our friendship ended October 1st, 2021 because she threatened to assault me. And at that point, I was like, yeah, no, I'm done, like, being your friend.
And okay, so that was, you said October, sometime towards the
October 1st, 2021 is like the last time I have had a conversation with her, spoke to her, saw her. She had threatened to assault me. So I pretty much removed myself from that situation and haven't seen anything to do with her since then.
Have you had a chance to kind of see either of them interact with kids? I guess it might have been either Addie at the time or
during the duration of our friendship. Absolutely. Stephen was best friends with my husband. So we would do family get-togethers. We would do barbecues. I would go to their trailer that they lived when they lived in Killeen. I would hang out with Sarah. I would watch her with her daughter. We would go to birthday parties. Kind of more social events because we all kind of hung out with the same crowd. Also have gone out of state for gatherings also and hung out, and at that time I would see her with her daughter and son.
So outside of the one incident you already mentioned regarding you, do you have concerns about Miss Annandale and kids?
Absolutely. I have witnessed sorry, I had to breathe. I have witnessed her be verbally aggressive towards her daughter when her daughter had a bee in her soda can and she was screaming bloody murder, and Sarah decided that instead of going to the situation, she was just going to curse at her. And again, instead of saying oh, what's going on, you're just cussing at your daughter who is terrified that there's a bee in her soda can. But a couple of times that I have gone to their trailer, I've gone just by myself. My husband had my kids. Addie went up to her because she wanted something to eat, and Sarah was just like, oh my God, you're always hungry. Oh my God. And it was just like, she can't help it. She's a kid, she's just hungry. She wants a snack, it wasn't dinner time. I've also seen where she took Addie in the car to a bar because Stephen was there. I guess he had a long day and decided, hey, I'm going to have a drink. And she went to the bar, took Addie, left her in the car while she went into the bar to drag him out, I guess you could say, and then drove off with her daughter. That time out of state when we were at a gathering, Theo was a couple months old. Addie was there. Theo was blood-curdling screaming. And I think Stephen went to the convenience store. Sarah was somewhere, and he was just screaming, blood curdling, screaming because he wanted his mom, but she was nowhere to be found. I was like, hey, he's probably cold because the weather had dropped down to the 50s, and she just had him in a onesie. I was like, hey, and I touched his leg, and I was like, yeah, he's pretty cold. Like, it's a little nippy out, you know, he probably wants a blanket and his mom. So, and then she finally came to him, and then they had told her, like, everyone pretty much told her, like, hey, he's probably cold. He's probably hungry. Like, he needs a diaper change. And she just got like real passive aggressive towards everyone. I've
Hey, man,
seen.
let's okay. I want to make sure I'm following you, and I need to get a time frame with some of this stuff. So I'm gonna let Mr. Hutton. I know we're trying to make sure we get through the witnesses this month today, but I need to get a little bit more context on when all this happened. And my understanding, it sounds like y'all were doing things together for about 6 or 7 months there, and then that's when y'all split up, correct? Stop seeing Miss Annandale in particular. Is that correct, Miss Blakemeyer?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
from March to October of 2021.
Okay, 7 months exactly. So yeah, I know I was born in March, and when I was 6.5, that was in September. Okay, I got it. So yeah. All right then. Anyway, you may proceed, Mr. Hutton. Thank you.
And I'll just double check as well. I'm assuming these pretty much all these events that you're talking about happen sort of within that range.
Within the 7 months of duration of our friendship, yes. Even like outside of the children, you know, I do have, again, on my little piece of paper, July 9th, we had gone out, like girls' night, you know, we were moms, like we deserve, you know, a night out just to ourselves, just to kind of decompress. We went out, we were in the bathroom, and she threatened a girl that she would shoot her dead. And I kind of looked at her like, girl, you can't just be threatening people, you know, for no reason. We've also gone to places where July 24th, 2021, we went to a concert at some bar, and she threatened to damage Steven's property because he didn't invite her. And I do the quotations, but because she wasn't there at that time, and she ended up showing up acting a fool. I even had told her, like, hey girl, like, you know, you doing this and threatening, you know, to like damage his property is a little unnecessary. And she spiraled out of control. And of course, you know, I'm the bad friend because I told her to stop.
Okay. So, I hate to be the bad friend. Stop right there. Let's just stay there. I'll ask Mr. Hutton ask you your next question. Thank you.
Sure. And so is that in general, that's probably a pretty good summary of that 7 months, would you say?
I mean, I've witnessed like them being parents. They're both good parents. Steven's more the hands-on parent whenever I would see them. You know, he was more, I'm going to attend to Theo than Sarah would. But in the 7 months, like we've done stuff, you know, just us by herself. And I've witnessed her act crazy and act a fool.
So sort of like after that period of time, you haven't had any contact really with Miss Annandale after, I guess, October.
No, but I have kept in contact with Steven and his wife, Ashley. Absolutely.
Okay. Here's the okay. Don't testify. Okay. Here's the don't testify anything that Mr. Oberman said to you about Miss Annandale. You can testify to anything he said about himself, but only about himself going forward after that October 2021. Okay. All right. I just want to give you a heads up on that. Thank you, ma'am. All right, you may proceed, Mr. Hutton.
And so you've had contact with Mr. Oberman and seen him, and have you had any? Have you had any contact with him over the past year or so? Like,
I've kept in contact with him. Yes.
Have you had any chance to like? I don't say see him, but and I assume you may live in sort of the Killeen area.
He ended up moving out of the Killeen area, so I see them over FaceTime, but physically in person, no.
Okay. Do you have any concerns about Mr. Oberman and his ability to take care of a child?
No, he I'm stumbling over my words because it's crazy. Because like you look at a man, right, and you see him when they're with their kid. It's like a whole different person. You know, he's very hands-on. He's very adventurous. You know, he has a little boy and he does like the boy stuff. You know, let's play outside. Let's do this. Like, he's an extremely hands-on father. And I've seen it, you know, and stuff that he would say, like, even when I FaceTime him, like how much he adores being a dad.
A pass witness.
All right, Miss Blankmeyer, Miss Elizabeth Schwartz is now going to get your testimony. She is the attorney ad litem. She's the person charged with representing the child. She's the child's attorney. Doesn't represent mom, doesn't represent dad, just the baby. And she's now going to ask you questions. Thank you. Miss Schwartz, your witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Do you have assault charges?
No.
Okay.
What is the relevance of that?
Okay, ma'am, here's the deal. You don't get to ask questions.
I was like, wait, what is the
okay,
sorry.
But see, ma'am, well, here's the deal. Ad litem does an investigation. She talks to both parties. She hears what they say, and she's trying to figure out whether or not what she's been told is correct.
Wait a minute.
All right, see, there you go. All right, see, I'll explain that part to you. I know, I understand, ma'am, but again, this is how that happens, because she did her investigation, and both of them tell her stuff. So let's see. So just listen to the question, answer the question, and don't take offense. He's just trying to get to the bottom of what was told. All right, thank you.
Yes, sir, I understand. Sorry, I'm trying to hear. It's like at a low volume, so I keep turning it up.
Okay, and of course I'm sitting here with stereo speakers on my computer, so everybody's coming in so loud.
I think it's just my phone. It's okay. I think it's dying on me.
All right. Well, we'll try to get through you real fast here, man. Thank you, Ms. Schwartz.
Yeah. Have you met with Miss Annandale more than 3 times?
As far as in the duration of our friendship?
Yes.
Yeah, we would hang out quite a bit.
Okay. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor. I just want to make sure that Miss Annandale gets the chance to ask any questions she has, since I'm not her attorney.
Okay, well, again, you're not her lawyer. I'll let Miss Annandale ask questions of this witness, but she has to run through me. Okay, again, because again, I understand. I got treated like she went to tech law, but she didn't. So there we go. All right, Ms. Mongat, your witness.
No questions for Ms. Blankmeyer, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Annandale, you now have the chance to ask the witness questions, but they got to be a proper question. So that's why I always have pro se litigants run their questions by me first, and then I'll let the witness know whether or not it's appropriate to answer it. So at this time, Ms. Annandale, and again, don't try to give your own testimony in this matter, just because you're going to get a chance to testify. Do you have any questions of Ms. Blankmeyer?
Yes, during the time of our friendship was, I believe the date's inaccurate, but we're not going to dispute that. During our friendship, were you told of the abuse of Steven spitting over me while I was naked in a tub, destroying things in the household?
Okay.
Spitting at you?
All right, stop. I'm going to rephrase that. Ma'am, did Miss Annandale ever confide in you of any type of event involving Mr. Oberman standing over? You heard what she testified to.
I did hear what she had said. I just wanted to clarify.
Okay. Did you ever hear? And ma'am, Miss Annandale, again, approximately. Okay. Again, what was the event now? Mr. Oberman was allegedly doing what?
Standing over me inside the tub naked, spitting on me, and destroying things in the home.
All right. Good enough. Did you ever hear of an episode like that from Miss Annandale, Miss Blankmeyer?
No.
Okay.
May I screen share?
Question.
Oh, sorry.
No, ma'am, you're going to get a chance to testify later on yourself, but now you only get the last questions of the witness. She's the witness, not you. I know you don't get it, ma'am, but it's the...
No, I'm just trying to hear. I'm like, my phone.
No, I'm talking about Miss Annandale. Okay. Miss Annandale, now your next question, ma'am, again.
And I want to make sure that if that Miss Annandale is able to share any evidence to discredit this witness later, even if she doesn't have this witness on the stand at that time.
Of course, she's always gonna have a chance to tell her own side of the story, always. All right, and that's the way law works. That's the way courts work. So, but ma'am, again, your next question. She said she did not remember you telling her about that. So, what's your next question?
Do you currently have custody of all of your children, Miss Blankenmeyer?
I have joint custody.
Okay.
And may I ask why you have only joint custody
Okay, ma'am, here's the deal. Texas, okay, stop. Texas, ma'am, do you have joint management conservatorship with your children and through the courts in the state of Texas?
Can you repeat that again? It's like low, so I'm going to put my.
All right, do you have joint management conservatorship with of your children with the father or fathers?
I have joint custody with my ex-husband and primary custody of my current children.
Okay, and the joint, everybody keeps saying joint custody. Where's your joint custody order out of? Or do you have a court order?
We have a court order.
What state?
Bell County.
Okay, Belton, Texas. All right, ma'am, you have what's called joint management conservatorship, and that's the standard in Texas. Thank you. Next question, Ms. Annandale.
Could you share us why you do not have primary custody of those
that's
children?
not relevant to your case, ma'am. That's her life, you know. If you are going to ask her question, has she ever been criminally charged with anything? Has she ever been investigated by CPS? Then you can do things like that, but you cannot just go fishing everywhere, ma'am.
Have you ever had the police called to your residence for altercations involving your husband, Ethan Candelaria?
Okay, I'm not going to go there either, man.
Nope.
All right, here we go. I just want to know her information about your circumstances.
I will pass the witness.
Okay.
I'm just gonna, so we don't have that.
All right, again, ma'am, here's the deal. Your questions need to be, and going forward, because we got other witnesses coming, anything about your life, your circumstances, what they're witnesses, and they need to testify to what they've seen, we don't do the character thing here. We're just trying to get information. They're only information witnesses, okay? If they don't have any information,
I will save everything else for testimony then on that matter.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Hutch, anything else? Anything on readdressing Ms. Blankmeyer?
Nothing further this witness, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Swartz.
What was the context? You said that she threatened to shoot someone in a bar. Is that what you said? I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am. July 9th, 2021 at Wild Country.
What was the context for that? What happened?
We were in the bathroom and she told a patron that because they were going back at it back and forth, they were arguing because I was standing right there. And the girl told her not to touch her, and Sarah
hang on.
told her.
Ma'am, when you say they, who are you talking about?
The girl and Sarah.
Okay. So they were going back and forth.
They were arguing, having words, discussing. I can't say discussing. They were just arguing. Argument is the word.
About what?
Evidently, the random girl had spoke to Steven, asking him for a lighter. And they were going back and forth, and then the girl told Sarah not to touch her, and Sarah said, I'm going to shoot you dead.
Ms. Blankmeyer, stop for a second, I'm sorry. Ms. Annandale, don't say anything, don't shake your head, just sit there and pretend like you're sitting in my courtroom and there's a deputy standing next to you, okay? All right, ma'am. So no more animation. Thank you. All right, you may proceed, Ms. Blankmeyer. Thank you.
Thank you. So they were arguing because she had asked to borrow a lighter. And
from Steven. Yes, correct.
Okay, and then what happened?
They were arguing back and forth, and then the girl had turned around to like walk out the door and said, don't ever touch me again. Sarah had told her, I will shoot you dead.
As she was leaving?
As she was walking out of the bathroom.
Did she then walk out of the bathroom?
We waited in there, and then we left the bathroom, and then I believe we left Wild Country shortly after.
Okay. And you said there were other concerning incidents. When you said that Miss Annandale had threatened to destroy Mr. Oberman's property, what property?
His motorcycle.
Okay, what did she threaten to do?
Tip it over and damage it.
Okay. And what did she actually cause any damage that you saw at any point?
No.
Okay. And that, I mean, at any point throughout y'all's friendship, did she ever cause any damage?
To my knowledge that I know of, no, because I didn't see that, but
Okay,
verbally,
ma'am,
she would say.
stop. Okay, Ms. Blank. There you go, ma'am. Only what you are an eyewitness to, not what someone else may have told you. Thank you.
Okay, so you never saw her actually physically damage property. Did you ever see her assault him in any way physically?
Physically, me witnessing her, yes, I have actually. I wrote it down.
Don't look at your notes, please. Just tell me what you remember.
It was my husband's birthday. He had a get together.
Okay.
And I was gonna say Miss Annadale, sorry. Sarah was there, Stephen was there, everyone was there hanging around, listening to music. I remember specifically that Sarah had accused Stephen of drinking, and she ended up striking him in the face in front of everybody.
Okay, and did that leave a mark?
His cheek was red.
When you said striking his face, was that with a closed fist or an open hand?
Open hand.
Okay. And have you ever seen Mr. Oberman be violent against Miss Annandale physically?
No.
Okay. Have you ever heard him threaten her at any point?
No. I know they would both argue, but as far as him hitting her or assaulting her, no.
Okay. Did he ever damage any of her property?
To my knowledge, no. Again, I wasn't there 24/7.
Okay.
But around me, no.
Okay, ma'am. Again, you answered the question. You're good.
Sorry, I was like, but around me, no.
And have you ever seen anything, and I know you're his witness, but you're under oath, and I just want to make sure I know. Have you ever seen anything concerning about Mr. Oberman's parenting?
No.
Okay. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right. It's my guy.
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Hutton.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, may Ms. Blankmeyer be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Blankmeyer. I'll let you get out of here before your cell phone dies off. Thank you very much. Take care of those young kids, and Ms. Blankmeyer, watch your back. They're moving and thinking the whole time. Okay.
Do I just press leave?
Yes, ma'am. You can press leave.
Okay, sorry. I've never done a Zoom. I don't.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I keep forgetting that this has been our world for the last 3 years.
No, I apologize. I'm just like, do I press leave? Like, what do I press? But thank you so much, sir. Have a great day.
Oh, you too, ma'am. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, Mr. Hutton, your next witness, please.
Oh, Miss Galloway.
All right, I see her. Let's move her in. Main session. Let's see if it does it. Hey, Ms. Galloway, there should be you should have gotten a request to move back to the main room. Oh, there you go. Ms. Galloway, you should have gotten a request to move back to the main room. I tried to do it. If you didn't, I'll send, oh, there you go. There we go. There it is. Thank you. Righty. All right, ma'am, you don't have to worry about if it helps with, there you go. If it helps with your bandwidth, you don't have to have your video on, but at this time, I'm going to go ahead and let you, I'll go ahead and swear you in and get as a witness, and we'll get started. So, but you do need to unmute yourself. Thank you. Please raise your right hand, ma'am. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give this court today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you? And you're still muted, ma'am. You can put down your hand and say I will or I do. Thank you. Right, you're still muted. There you go.
There we go. Okay.
Right.
Sorry.
All right.
I do.
So swear, man. All right. You're officially under oath. Would you state your full name for the record, please?
Dakota Cheyenne Galloway Lytle.
All right, then, ma'am. And you got a little gap there in your audio, so you can go ahead and turn off your video. That usually helps with bandwidth, and you can leave your video off. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right, and ma'am, what county do you reside in?
I live in Comanche County, Oklahoma.
Okay.
In Oklahoma.
Okay, I was about to say, Comanche County is one of my counties, but not Comanche County, Oklahoma. All right, there we go.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Hutton, you may proceed with the witness. Thank you.
What is your connection with the parties in this case?
My husband is one of Stephen's friends.
Okay. So, and in general, for anything I'm asking, kind of stick to stuff that you have kind of personally witnessed.
Yes.
Have you seen any violence or anything like that directed by Miss Annandale towards Stephen?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Tell me when first.
So it was in 2022. I'd have to look at the date. Me and my husband were trying to leave. We were waiting on a few other people to get there to say bye and go back to Oklahoma. And Sarah sped up, pulled up. And
Your Honor,
Stephen,
I'd like to object just because the video is off, and I feel like that might be because she's consulting notes, and I just want to make sure that.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am, you're not. Okay, here's the deal. You're not allowed to.
There we go.
Notes. Now, here's the deal. You are allowed to consult notes if you're actually just trying to find a date. Okay. But you're not allowed to consult notes, and I tell witnesses all the time, if you could just say the spring of 70, 70. I'm getting ready to go back to my age. Back when I was young. If you want to say the spring of 24, the fall of 23, that's fine. All right, just give us a general time frame. All right.
Okay. Yeah, okay. And I'm terrible with dates. I'm sorry. I know it's 2022, okay. But when this happened.
All right, was it late 2022 or early 2022? You remember that?
I'm going to say it was probably late 2022.
All right, thank you.
It was cold, so.
Okay. It was in the winter, so at least get
as far as I can go. I'm terrible with dates.
All right, no problem, ma'am. We'll go ahead and proceed answering the question then. Thank you.
Okay, and Sarah sped up, pulled up, and Stephen was meeting her at the car, and she jumped out of the car and slapped him in the face and knocked his glasses off and broke them.
And did you, I guess it sort of says it itself, but I mean, did you see any context either before or after that, or was that it?
That's the main one for me. I know I've seen her not slap him or anything like that, just be, kind of crappy to him, but I wouldn't have dates or anything like that on those.
Have you seen Miss Annandale have any issues with alcohol?
Not personally. I know that.
Here's the deal. Only what you've seen. Again, you're the witness.
Yeah.
That's what it means. You actually had to witness it, or Miss Annandale would have had to told you. You can't say anything that Mr. Oberman has said or anyone else has said. You can only testify to what you've seen or what you heard the witness. The party, Miss Annandale, tell you. All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Personally, no.
Okay. Have you seen her drink and then basically drive the kids?
Again, personally, no.
Fair enough.
Not.
Have you personally witnessed any types of behaviors other than the one you just already referenced that would give you concern for Miss Annandale's parenting?
Seen it? Again, no, I have not. I'm sorry.
That's fine. And have you seen my client, Mr. Oberman, around kids?
Yes.
Do you have any concerns about that?
Absolutely not. He's been around my baby personally, and it's held her for an hour or two. So no, I do not.
And how old is your baby?
She's 7 months.
Okay. And seemed like he was appropriately, doing the things he needed to be doing.
Yes.
Pass witness.
All right, then, Ms. Swartz.
No questions.
All right, Ms. Bungat.
No questions, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else, Mr. Hutton, this witness? Can she be excused?
And Your Honor, just making sure that Miss Annandale, if she.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. Yeah, I keep forgetting she's again on witnesses. I'll let her do that. All right, Miss Annandale, do you have any questions of Miss Galloway? And again, you got to run through me. Do you have any questions at this time, ma'am? You're muted, ma'am.
I have one question.
What's your question, ma'am?
From what she can recall, is it safe to say that the amount of times we have been physically around each other have been less than 3?
Have you, ma'am? The question is, have you? She's saying I think she's trying to ask whether or not you've been around her personally, in her person, more or less than 3 times.
Let me go back into, thinking of that.
Okay. If you could put a number on it, ma'am, I'll let you take your best.
I'd probably say 3 or 4.
All right, thank you.
I wouldn't say less than 3.
Okay. All right, ma'am. She said 3 to 4 occasions. Next question.
That was my only question.
All right, thank you very much. All right, anything else, Mr. Hutton?
No, Your Honor, and yes, this witness can be excused.
All right, Ms. Galloway, sorry about that. You just wasted 2.5 hours of your life. You're never going to get back, but thank you for being a witness, and you are free to go. All you got to do is hit the leave function on the Zoom, and thank you again, ma'am. And be careful up there in Oklahoma. My four grandkids are half Oklahoman, so yeah, what are you going to do? So,
all right, thank you.
Yeah. All right. That's the one good thing I learned, though, that the boy learned. The Texas veterans will not pay to go to OU law school, okay? So, yeah. Anyway, next witness at this time, Mr. Hutton.
My next witness would be Miss Annandale, but I would expect that she would take significantly longer than the 20 minutes that we have. So,
yes. So, anybody else, any of the witnesses that are sitting in a waiting room that you need to call at this time, sir?
Not me, no.
Your Honor, I have a suggestion.
Okay, you can make it.
My suggestion might be that Miss Annandale get the opportunity to, out of order, take any of her witnesses in the waiting room that might be less, just so they don't have to come back, but understanding it's still Mr. Hutton's turn.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to that.
All right.
That's what out of order means.
In the interest of saving some time. Yeah, I'm not opposed.
All right, Ms. Annandale, let's start working our way backwards. Of your witnesses, which will take you the quickest, the shortest amount of time, ma'am? You muted, ma'am.
Sorry, I didn't realize that. I would like if we could call Christopher Shrivens, with understanding it's still Timothy Hutton's turn, but just to.
Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and let you call your witness. We're going to do it out of turn because, again, we don't want folks to have to wait around all afternoon and come back again. So here we go.
Thank you.
I'm going to move him over to the main session. Okay, Mr. Shrevens, you should have got, yeah, he's in. And I probably mispronounced your name and misspelled it, but here we go. Sorry, still trying to broadcast the breakout rooms. All right, Mr. Scrivens, you are in the main room now. If you could unmute yourself and turn the video, I'll swear you in. And if it's necessary, we'll let you turn the video off. As far as bandwidth is concerned, if you can't turn it on, because sometimes it says I'm blocking you, but I'm not. So, okay. Are you able to turn your video, sir? There you go. All right, thank you very much, sir. Well, would you please raise your right hand, sir? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give this court today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir, you're officially on the oath. I'm going to go ahead and allow you to testify as a witness. Please keep in mind, sir, that you are a witness. You're allowed to testify to anything you have personally observed or anything that Miss Annandale or Mr. Oberman have told you personally, but not not anything else that someone else has told you or something you've heard else from a third party, even close friends of theirs. It can only be what you're an eyewitness to or what they directly told you, sir. All right, so at this time, Ms. Annandale is going to start asking you questions. She's a pro se litigant. She's not a lawyer. So I always have pro se litigants who call witnesses to run their testimony through me to make sure it's a proper question. So until I tell you it's a proper question or rephrase it properly, sir, don't answer until that's okay. All right. So at this time, Ms. Annandale, what's your first question, please?
My first question is could you state how long you have known both me and myself and Mr. Oberman?
Go right ahead, sir.
Well, I have known Miss Sarah since about 2018 till present, and Mr. Oberman, I met him probably around 2020 time frame.
Okay, thank you. Next question, ma'am.
Could you state the nature of your outings with Mr. Oberman?
That's a question. Okay. And by outings, mean going out with him, with him and by himself, or with both of y'all, ma'am?
With Mr. Oberman.
Okay, by himself. All right, the question is, what type of things did you and Mr. Oberman do when y'all went out together, sir? And if you know, if you could give me an idea of how many times this has occurred, go right ahead. Thank you.
I had hung out with the other gentleman several times as part of the motorcycle group I was in at the time, where we went to different locations and enjoyed adult beverages, hung out, socialized, things of that nature.
Okay. And about how many different times did that occur, sir? Best guesstimate.
Probably 10, 20 times, sir.
Okay, well, one of my former bailiffs used to ride motorcycles with a group too, so I know how that works. All right, thank you. Yeah, because he would tell us about it. Anyway, next question, Ms. Annandale.
During these outings, have you observed Mr. Oberman being intoxicated to a point and still choosing to operate his motorcycle?
All right, that's a question. That's a good question, sir. If you can answer it, if you can.
Numerous occasions, I was aware of the individual that had been intoxicated or close to inebriated status, and still deciding to ride the motorcycle because he chose not to listen to others. As part of those incidences, most of the time somebody would escort him or ride alongside of him back to his home, so he made it there safely.
Next question, ma'am.
During the course of your friendship with both parties, have you witnessed any abuse?
Okay. All right. Well, I'll back that one up a little bit. First off,
I don't know how to word it. Sorry.
I'm in, Ms. Annandale. Have you ever witnessed either party be abusive toward the other party, sir? If you did, do you recall what the occasion was and what were the circumstances? What you actually saw? Thank you.
Can I answer that?
Yeah, you can answer that. Yes, sir.
Okay, yes. Majority of the time that the individuals were there, if there was any kind of alcohol involved with either party, it generally would end up in an altercation, whether it be verbal. And then, yes, there were several occasions where it was a physical issue, where the two individuals got into problems. Physical contact was made between the two, and the other individual would be escorted off premises, or they would leave here after that problem would have developed. But it was numerous times. It'd be too many for me to actually count that I witnessed the verbal side of the abuse, and only several times on the physical side of the abuse.
Okay, so you would say, I'll give you a step. Did you observe the verbal altercations more than a half dozen times, sir?
Oh, that would be an easy one to answer there. Yes, sir, that would be correct.
All right, then. And as far as the physical altercations, more than 6, less than 6?
Less than 6 for myself, sir.
Okay, and again, it's only what you've seen, sir. All right, and sir, here's the deal. I'm going to go ahead and ask you this question myself. As far as who did what, did you ever observe? And I'll start with Miss Annandale. Did you ever observe Miss Annandale strike Mr. Oberman?
That I have not witnessed, sir.
All right. Have you ever observed Mr. Oberman striking Miss Annandale?
Yes, sir.
And on how many occasions, sir? And again, it sounds like you said less than 6, but did you ever see that more than once, sir?
Yes, but there was a long stretch of time between the two incidences that I was able to watch.
All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Annandale, next question.
Do you have any concerns for either of us? And if you would state if you had concerns. What concerns you had. If he had any concerns about either of our parenting and what he has witnessed on either of it.
All right, well, okay.
Sorry.
Okay, sir. Have you ever seen, and I'll break it down, have you ever seen Miss Annandale do anything as far as her parenting abilities toward her kid? She's got 2 children that the court's aware of. Have you ever seen her do anything that would give you cause for concern about her ability to take care of her children properly or doing anything improperly with her children?
I would say no, sir. I've seen the individual home as well as actions between herself and the children, and I haven't witnessed anything that would give me an idea that the children would be any kind of immediate or hereafter, danger of her remaining with those kids.
All right. And as far as Mr. Oberman, sir, have you ever seen him take any actions that would give you cause for concern, sir?
I haven't seen enough actions with Mr. Oberman when it comes to the newer son that was in the relationship. I had seen him with her little girl, but I didn't there was no immediate action that would have caused an extreme danger of nothing.
Okay. All right, then, Ms. Annandale, next question.
I'm trying to word it correctly so you don't have to continuously rephrase my questions and make it easier for you, sir. During the time that you witnessed both of our parenting, could you state who you saw being the primary caretaker?
All right. That one will work by itself. When they were, okay, I'll rephrase it. Sir, when you were with them when they were together and both of them were there, who was the primary caretaker of the child or children when you were there, as far as your observations, sir?
Sir, I have known Miss Sarah before and after the relationship, and in every case, she was actually home almost all the time, minus working hours, and vice versa. When her son was born, as well as her little girl, she was always the primary caregiver at home.
All right. Next question, Ms. Annandale.
I'll pass the witness.
All right, Ms. Schwartz.
Sir, you said you saw Mr. Oberman strike Miss Annandale 2 times?
There would have been 2 occasions.
Okay, and you, when you say strike, was that with his hand?
From both occasions I've seen, it would have been in the right hand.
Okay, with his right hand. And was it closed fist or open fist?
No, it would have been open.
Open, okay.
He didn't ever close fist hit her in that manner. Not from my observations.
Okay. Have you ever seen either of them destroy any property?
I've seen the aftermath of property destroyed.
Okay,
I didn't see the individual property destroyed firsthand, only the aftermath.
Okay. Have you been to their home? Or have you been to
yes.
what is now Miss? You have. Have you been to what is now Miss Annandale's home? I guess to be more specific.
Yes, I went to visit her and her son, as well as her little girl and the family that she resided with at the time.
Okay. And at that time, were the majority of the doors broken in that residence? Do you remember?
Not the current place she was staying, no.
Okay.
They had, maybe they had been worked on or something.
Okay. And did you have any other concerns about either of them that you haven't brought up here today?
My major concern would be in Mr. Overman's case. I'm aware that he has another son that's soon to be here, if has not been born. I'm not quite sure, but my primary concern would be, as a father in this, how he would provide care to the children from two different marriages or relationships, and if the children would all be treated in the same fashion.
Okay. And do you have concerns they wouldn't be treated in the same fashion?
I believe the statement that Mr. Overman has for Miss Annabelle would create a possible ripple effect of not jealousy or anything of that nature, but I don't believe he would look at the children from their relationship in the same as his own.
Okay. And is that I guess based on something specific you've seen him do, or is that I guess just a theory that you have?
No, the little girl, Mr. Overman's actions around the little girl was always of a tender nature. He enjoyed that family, bonded very well with that daughter. Now, mind you, the newer son that is in her relationship, he didn't bond as much with. And I believe that lack of bonding on the father's side is going to shape in a way that those children will not get the same level of care within the two relationships if they should reside with Mr. Overman.
Okay. And whenever you saw him parenting, did anything give you concern?
Only the use of the alcohol and stuff like that. Most of the time, the use of that alcohol would be at a later time in which the children would be asleep. That would be my major concern, because that right there will put the life of the children in danger. If alcohol is involved and those children happen to be in an automobile or with him on a ride on a motorcycle, I think that would be of a concerning nature, because you cannot guarantee the utmost safety of the children when there was a constant usage of the alcohol in the situation for their relationship.
And you're saying a constant usage. How frequently did you see him intoxicated?
I would say not intoxicated to the point of being inebriated, but I would tell you, out of the years I knew him, there was only a few cases in which he was not drinking.
And how frequently did you see him?
Quite often, at least when I was in the motorcycle club with him. That was a given anywhere from, 4 or 5 times a month, if not more. And that was every single month for several years. That was with that group.
Okay. And when you saw him drinking, how much alcohol did he drink at a time?
The average would have been at least 4 or 5 drinks. Yes, there were occasions where the level of alcohol would have surpassed your blood alcohol limit of 0.08 by far. Okay. And you cannot control someone's drinking, nor can you control the fact of them getting in the vehicle.
Okay. And I know you talked a little bit about this, but how many times did you see him drive under the influence?
I would say at least 4 times. Twice, I escorted the individual home with other members of the group we belonged to at the time. And alcohol will make individuals do erratic behavior, such as speeds well over 100 and things of that nature.
Okay. And did you see Miss Annandale become intoxicated at any point?
There would have been one occasion that I saw her while her and Mr. Overman was together, but it was a 4-day event in which they were not driving. Somebody else escorted those individuals off the premise back to their Airbnb area or the hotel they were staying in.
Okay. And were the children with her at that time?
The children had actual babysitters. Other mothers that were not at the event stayed with the kids and basically took care of the kids while the other adults were out of the area.
Okay. And how frequently did you see Miss Annandale?
Before the relationship, ma'am, or after the relationship?
I guess just in general to get a kind of idea of how often she was drinking based on how often you were seeing her, if that makes sense. Because you were sure.
I've only seen Miss Annandale a few times.
Okay.
In which she was alleviated to that point. But the average would have been anywhere from 2-3 times a month, depending if she was with Mr. Overman at events or if she was out. Because at that time, Miss Annabelle was actually working at a full-time job. So her hours didn't allow her to necessarily be out, outside of work and then plus still take care of the children at the same time.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I'll pass the witness.
All right, Mr. Hood, your witness.
Just briefly, the motorcycle club events that you, I guess, primarily saw my client, I'm sort of assuming, but there are probably, are there kids at those events?
Yes, but only during daylight hours in which, you do not have individuals that are intoxicated or anything of that nature. They did have family days, and yes, the children generally hung around other kids all together.
What I guess I'm getting at is that the times that you saw my client, does he have his kids with him?
Mr. Oberlin, is that what you're referring to?
Right.
Before the son was born, I used to see him fairly often with the daughter if Miss Annabelle was working.
So he'd take
after
Addie
the son
on the
was
motorcycle?
born, not so much.
So he'd take Addie on the motorcycle with him?
Only around the neighborhood. He would not put Miss Addie on the motorcycle and take her any length of time. He might drive around the residence a street or two and then come right back.
What I guess I'm getting at is the times that you're seeing him drinking would be times that he's basically socializing, correct? Like at a motorcycle club. I don't want to say group, but like as y'all are together as a bunch of adults on motorcycles, correct?
Yes, sir.
Nothing further on.
All right, Ms. Annandale, I'm sorry, Ms. Bungak, your witness.
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Annandale, you need to make it quick. Any other questions of Mr. Stevens? You're muted, ma'am, also, just in case you didn't know that.
I'm sorry, I didn't. How often did you see Mr. Oberman with the children versus opposed to not having them?
All right, let's, sir, if you had to give a percentage, how often, on the times you've seen him, how many times were the kids with him? 10% of the time, 15% of the time, 50% of the time? One of the two children?
Sir, before the young boy was born, I used to see him with Addie very often, but generally only closer to home, not so much out and about. But that percentage went down very clearly after the son was born.
Okay. All right. Ms. Annandale, next question.
Would you say it was under 5 times that he had his son or children with him after our son was born? Sorry, there's not a right way to.
Yeah, that's a good, that question will work. More or less than 5 times after the last child was born, sir.
I would agree with that statement. That's probably what you're looking at. You went from 60% when it was just a little girl, probably down to about 5%, if not 10%, once the son came into the picture.
All right, Ms. Annandale.
During the relationship, did you see any controlling or abusive behavior such as isolation from friends, including yourself?
Oh.
I know you had to rephrase that one.
Yeah, that's really a
Sorry.
big time leading question. You need to be more of a general question. All right, then, ma'am. Sir, did you ever see any behavior on the part of either party toward the other that would be upsetting to you? The things that would, they're just not outside the norm. And I think she's trying to say manipulative, controlling. Did you ever see either of them treat each other that way?
I would actually see that fairly often with the individual couple because I knew Miss Annabelle before and after relationship, and it was a notable lack of presence by her after they got together. There were certain rules, I guess, that may have been put in place in which she tended to stay home more often and not be out
I'm
and
going to
about.
object to speculation. I don't think he's testified to anything he's seen.
Okay, sir. Again, you can only testify as a witness, but what you actually saw. So you can't speculate on why it took place. But you were saying after the before they got together, you saw her more often, and after that, you saw her less.
That would be correct, sir.
All right, thank you. Next question, Ms. Annandale. And ma'am, I'm giving you one more question because it's already.
I'm going to pass. I'm so sorry.
All right, thank you. Ms. Schwartz.
No other questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Hutton?
No questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Bungat?
None, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Annabelle, and sir, I know I mispronounced your name again. Mr. Scrivens, be excused at this time, ma'am. Ms. Annabelle, you're muted. May the witness be excused?
Yes, I'm sorry.
All right, sir, you're free to go. Thank you for being here. Thanks for waiting so long, and we appreciate you coming in and doing your part for this in this court. Thank you, sir. But you're free to go and just log out. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's see.
Sir.
I still got we still got 2 witnesses in breakout rooms, and it's now 12:35. So I'm getting ready to have to end this. I'm going to bring them back in. Apologize. Well, before I bring them back in, let's look at some when we might be able to try to wrap this up, folks. And the way I'm looking at it now, it's probably going to be at least another 2.5 hour, 3 hour hearing at best. So I need another half day for you guys. So let's see what the lawyers tell me they have coming forward, and I'll let you know what I've got coming the rest of the month here. All right, here we go. We are in July the 15th. I got 9 o'clock and I got an afternoon, so that's gone. Regular docket dates. All right, and I got a live docket in Gatesville on Wednesday. All right, next Friday is San Saba, and okay, so I've got a bunch of stuff already next Friday. So here we go. All right, on Monday the 22nd. I've got 2:30 to 5:30 available, 5 o'clock available, and push come to shove on on Monday the 22nd. I'll need to check with my assistant. We can go ahead and do 9:30 to 12:30 again. All right, on Monday, July 22nd. The next date I have after that. Wow, because the state's going on their conference the week after that, so that's going to really knock that for a loop, and that's coming Friday the 26th. I'm already booked. So I don't have anything until Monday, the 5th of August. Again, and on Monday, the 5th of August, I've got both morning and afternoon available. I like to do mornings, I like to come in and do work, and afternoons I'll do hearings. So on August the 5th, I have 1:30 until 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock available. So those two dates coming up, can that Monday the 22nd in the morning work or the late afternoon or the morning work for anybody? And on Monday the 5th, will that work for anybody? So I'll start with you, Ms. Sparks. Either of those dates work with you?
July 22nd at any time works for me.
All right. And how about you, Mr. Hutton?
The afternoon of the 22nd would be better for me, but both would probably work in a pinch. I would say the 5th would also work if need be, but it is advanced family, so that may be tougher for
okay.
everybody.
I'm sorry. And I'm not going this year because the judge has a bad hip. Okay, on that 22nd one, on the 22nd, I'll tell you what, I hate to split it up like that, but we can start at 12 noon, then I can break and do my 1:30 to 2:30, and then come back on and wrap everything else. So I can give y'all that probably pretty much that whole afternoon if we want to work it that way.
That would be perfect for me.
Okay, then. All right, then, folks, we're looking at 12 noon on Monday, July 22nd. Then, like I say, we'll do an hour and a half. I'll do my other hearing, then come back, and we'll finish up on that date. Let me get the other parties in here and apologize to them and beg their forgiveness and see about if they can appear. Obviously, they can be witnesses on that date. But if they've got other things to do without a subpoena, they don't have to show up. So let me move this.
Mr. Oberman has a question.
He has a lawyer, so he needs to run that by his lawyer. And the lawyers have a tendency not to have their client ask questions in open court. So, but sir, if you're talking about scheduling, yes, sir.
I was going to say, is it about scheduling? Oh, well, then you're going to have to talk to me afterwards, I think.
It's about getting. I took my visitations from Theo because of the court case, because of the CPS case. I just wondered if we could reinstate that.
Okay. Well,
we got to wait till the thing finishes. I'll give you a call right after this. Okay.
Okay. All right, for folks left in the breakout rooms, I think I sent y'all both a request to move to the main room. It should have been a pop-up.
Yeah, I'm here. I don't think you can see me still, and I don't know why.
Okay, all right, Ms. Ellums, okay, and let's see, I think, okay. Is the other person in here too? I don't see them, and I don't see them in the breakout rooms anymore. Hopefully I didn't kick them out by accident.
What was the name?
All right. Oh, Chris Goss. There we go. There. All right. Miss Adams and Miss Goss, my sincere apologies, folks. Obviously, the hearings ran longer. The testimony ran longer this morning than I anticipated it being. I've got another hearing this afternoon, and so we're having to reset this matter. Again, my sincere apologies for making y'all wait around in a waiting room like that, electronic waiting room like that. We are rescheduling for the 22nd of July for try to finalize this. It's probably going to take another 2 to 3 hours. Right now, I'm allowing Miss Annadale to take her witnesses out of turn, and I'm probably going to keep that up next time if y'all come back in. I am going to have to stop the hearing for now, and we're reconvening on the 22nd at 12 noon. And if y'all are able to come back in, you two will be the first two witnesses that day, guaranteed. All right, and that way y'all are going around. All right, and I'll get y'all taken care of. But again, without subpoenas, y'all don't technically have to appear. But if you want to come and testify, that's your prerogative. It's going to be the same Zoom code on that date that we had today. I'm just going to move it over, and like I said, we're going to start at 12 noon, and then we're going to go for an hour and a half, and then I got a break at 1:30 for a second hearing, but that one should be over with by 2:30, and then after that, I'm going to finish this one up. But again, we'll try to get y'all done in that first hour and a half from 12 noon to 1:30 if you can appear. All right. And again, my apologies, folks, and until we come back, you're not allowed to discuss this matter with the parties at all, what they heard or said. So please do that. All right. But
All right, thank you.
All right, but you're both free to go, and thank you. Again, my apologies. All right, everybody, I'm going to, like I say, move the Zoom code over to that 22nd at 12 noon. And I ought to make Mr. Hutton show up on doing advanced family, because the judge went to advanced family for about 20, 30 years straight. And I know it's more of it was always counted as my vacation for the summer. So yeah, I know what happens in San Antonio. So, and of course I got a bunch of golf trophies to prove how good I'm at it. Yeah, no, not really. But anyway, from advanced family used to have a golf tournament every year. Do they still have that, Mr. Hutton?
I'd like to say that I know. I'm not much of a golfer, though. Sorry.
Okay, never mind. Anyway, same Zoom code, folks. 22nd of June, 12 noon. If something else comes up, if something happens, get a hold of Ms. Bongad, get a hold of my assistant, and y'all let me know. So at this time, if I'll have Ms. Swartz confirm the CPS information, and Ms. Swartz, if that's correct, then we need to get Mr. Oberman back there. He only had weekends, right? What was his visitation package?
Specific Saturdays or Sundays, Your Honor.
Okay, then. Well, confirm that that's been cleared, and then and once you confirm that, let Mr. Hutton know, and then he can have that package back again. All right.
It would be
you're muted. But you're okay.
Yeah, seeing the ruled out letter, that was all I was waiting on. It's frustrating that CPS didn't get back in touch with me. I reached out to them just saying, hey.
It was just mailed on July 2nd, so that may be part of it as well. So
I'm sure.
And they still use snail mail, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't. I let people who still use snail mail scare the daylights out of me. IRS, CPS. Okay, I'm sorry. I see those letterheads. That's when the judge starts getting upset and worried about it. All right, folks. I'll see you on the 22nd. Again, Mr. Oberman, looks like you're back in the mix. Ms. Annandale, make the child available for those time frames, and I will see everybody back here on Monday, July 22nd at 12 p.m. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.